What's up, guys? Welcome back to the infamous project. It is a Saturday afternoon and I'm just messing around in the shop trying to, I don't know, feel like I'm getting somewhere, because the yellow DECH coupe has, it's been around for almost 2 weeks now. And I've been slowly collecting a couple parts here and there and trying to get things ready so that I can do sort of a mini transformation. In fact, it's really not a transformation. It's more going to be like mini personalizations. And myself and Tom, aka War Admiral, we talk about this a lot with our Foxbodies and what are the little things that we do to add our own little personal touches. And this could be anything from the wheels and tires that you put on, to the paint color, to the types of floor mats that you install, and just the small little things. The small things make a difference. And in his car in particular, there's tons of little War Admiralisms that you can find, right? Like the etched or laser engraving in his tailpipes, and the way that he's done numerous things from his interior to the engine bay and everything else. And that's where me and Tom really get along, and we like to do these little things that not everybody else does, or it's not like an out of the box, you know, bolt on and something that everybody else has. Well, maybe some people have them, but we just find ways with different combinations of different parts of putting everything together, which turns a Foxbody or any car, if you will, into your own. And that's why, if you guys have ever seen the plaques that I put in the engine bays of the cars that have done enough work or personalization, my plaques actually say personalized by the infamous project. I'm not trying to say built by, I'm not trying to say manufactured by, none of those things. I like to personalize, and that's why with all my projects, they all have one common thing in common, and that is personalization, right? So just the little details and little things that make the car different, whether it's a Foxbody or a BMW or whatever it might be, it's those little things. So I got a couple parts here. I'm going to run you through them and probably install a few things. It's not going to be that entertaining of a video in terms of how to or huge transformations or anything like that. It's little things, guys. So little quick wins on a Saturday afternoon that are going to keep you motivated and inspired to keep working on your Fox and enjoying it by doing these little things. And sometimes it's just washing and detailing. You know, I washed and detailed up Project Menace 2.0 there, and it's sitting outside. It's looking great. We got that beautiful top-down weather. But now, let's focus on this guy. Might be a little bit of a boring video. It's exciting for me because it's my car and like I'm really enjoying this thing, and I'm really happy that I bought it and happy that I took the almost 4 years of back and forth with the owner of the car to finally manage to get it in my possession. But no shortage of DECH coupes now. In fact, like all of my coupes are DECH cars. So we got a silver DECH coupe, we got a white DECH coupe, and we now have a yellow DECH coupe, which is actually my favorite 3 colors put together, which kind of makes a Celine SSC if you think about it. But yeah, kind of ironic how that came about, but that pretty much is what it is. Those are the 3 colors, the 3 most painted Foxbody colors that I've done throughout my entirety of building Foxbodies has always been yellow. And in fact, look at the strip, the beam. Remember, that was like a Tiffany blue color. If you guys have been following my channel that long, used to be Tiffany blue. I painted it yellow. My cousin gave me this piece of I-beam theme well, gray and yellow. And if you look at my floor, that's not all dirty. If we come over here where things are a little bit cleaner, and we look at the flake colors, we've got white, gray, and yellow. And there's actually like shiny, silvery chrome specks in there too. So there's the proof that I've got 3 notches in my favorite colors. And it's kind of lame when you think about it, but it is what it is. I do really stupid stuff, guys, with my vehicles. Like I've bought cars that match my shoes sometimes because I want to have it matching, right? And like those yellow Recaros, I had those laying around. So I know I'm not the only crazy one out there that does really stupid shit in terms of matching their cars or the way that they personalize things. All right, this is all going back to personalization and getting like an expression of yourself that other people may notice or may go right over their head. So we give women a real hard time, like when they're doing their shoes and their nails and they got their handbags and all that shit. Guys, I've been matching my shoes to my watch, to my hat, to everything for a damn long time. And then of course started matching to my car. So I'm definitely gonna have to do kind of a full overview of this car and its history, how I got it, so on and so forth. But I really need to kind of mentally prepare myself. I need to get all the documents spread out in front of the car so I can kind of build the timeline, because honestly, to freestyle all the information on this car would actually be a lot. And here is a bin filled with goods and parts and everything else that came with it, and that's only some of it. That doesn't even have the piles of documentation that I've got sitting on the kitchen island. But first thing of personalization on this car were those 18-inch Cobras. They came off and I put on these 18-inch Borbet Type A's. And these are staggered fitment, 8.5 in the front, 18 8.5, and then 18 10s in the rear. And these have been custom drilled 4x108. So filled and drilled. They were originally a 5-bolt wheel that I had modified, completely restored. And man, do they look great. Now with that said, this car is sitting way too high and there is going to be an altitude adjustment. I did do a little bit of a Photoshop on Instagram there the other day, and man, did it ever make the car look that much better. So in 2 weeks time, the car is going to Atomic Auto Spa, AKA the Atomic Fox owner, Justin, who's black notch with the Tiffany blue engine bay that I've been working on with the 363 from Prestige. So he is actually going to be doing paint correction and protection, further future protection on the car. So I'm going to be really excited to see how this beautiful Sickens yellow paint back from 1994 is going to shine up. And in fact, maybe when like the car is done or done-ish, then that'd be a really good time to kind of do a full feature on the car and go over the history and everything else. Up until then, we'll just kind of keep doing little tweaks and teasing you guys. Things like, well, I showed these in my Recaro video, if you guys haven't seen it, in terms of how to use your factory seat tracks to bolt in these Malaysian or wherever you might be getting your Recaros from. Well, these were in that video, and these are a set from Malaysia with yellow stitching. And this is kind of fulfilling my want and desire for another Ferrari temporarily, because this is sort of like, this is domesticated Ferrari. Even when you think about the look of the wheels and the color and the seats and the stitching, this is the closest I'm going to get to a Ferrari for now. But let's talk about some of the other mods we're going to do. And I don't know if the GoPro can pick that up. You can see some of the haze in the paint from buffing and everything else from before, but man, this thing is pretty damn clean otherwise. So I was fishing around on eBay, like I like to do sometimes, and I came across this. And you guys might look at this real quick and be like, oh, I had the same deck. Well, there was a lot of different variants of these Explode decks, and this isn't the top of the line, but it is a pretty high-end deck back in the day when you got the 50 watts by 4, but this is actually a mini disc deck. So this has got a single mini disc behind the face, and that's going to allow me, Foxbody Pete is going to really enjoy that, because I've got a whole mini disc collection that, in fact, the white DECH coupe up there has a 4-disc mini disc changer inside the deck, which that one is like the highest end mini disc deck that you could get at the time. But that is going to go in because this car's got some old, what do we got here? Clarion. And it's pretty blah and bland looking. So that's going to get updated. There's a bunch of stuff in the trunk, so maybe we're going to make that another video in terms of dealing with the car audio. But today, I want to do something transformational that's going to help the front end of the car out, and that is dealing with these headlights. Now, I was on the fence because I've actually got in my stash a set of the old school clear corners that don't have any amber in them. And I was like, okay, do I kind of go back to that look, or do I try and do something different? Of course, I want to try and do something different. I've got bulbs that are actually yellow in color, and I did this with the ship box, and I was actually really happy with the way that this turned out. So I found these off eBay. These ones a little bit more amber in color. These ones definitely have a yellow tinge. But more importantly, for the headlights, I've got, well, actually the bulbs are in these housings already, but it's sort of like this bulb here. In fact, the ones that I have in the housings have more yellow. And what I want to show you guys after is the way that the yellow bulbs reflect in these, what are they, Euro diamond clear headlight housings. I feel like the yellow, the way that it's going to kind of reflect, and much like an amber bulb does in the factory headlights, it's just going to kind of give that little bit more of a yellow flare in the front. Now you guys are probably wondering, well, why is this all masked off? Well, it's masked off because one little trick that I do is that I mask this off and I hit this top edge right here with black trim paint, so that way when this rubber gasket is on, you don't see that ugly white plastic molding or trim, because this doesn't hide it 100%, and then you kind of end up seeing this, which drives me nuts. So I've already sanded this down with purple Scotch pad. I'm going to wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol real quick. I'm going to hit it with some trim paint even quicker, and that'll be ready and dried by the time we get these headlights out of the car. Then we can get installing the rest, and the other diamond clear lenses are sitting over there in those boxes. So we got that, and I don't know, I'm messing around. I got a bunch of license plate covers here. I got smoked ones, I got clear ones, and then I found these stainless steel yellow frames that the yellow is pretty close, probably depending on the sunlight. I don't know if I'm going to go that extreme, but I do have them just in case. We don't want to go too yellow. Finally, last but not least, I'm torn on the taillights. Right now I have like a smoked cherry LX lens, and I've been thinking, trying to come up with different ideas. John Brooks, aka Dale, 4i Notch, he actually chased me down at Motor City and hooked me up with these old school GTS taillight covers, of all things. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I could do something with these, or maybe I could do something. The problem is this amber. I wish this amber was yellow. And then I was thinking about some yellow pinstripes and maybe yellow in the housing here, and then whether I smoke things out or I left some things, not 100% sure. If I got really creative, like I could probably just smoke out this amber and try and make it go away a little bit more. I wish I could turn it more of a yellow color, I guess is ultimately what I'm trying to get after here, but we shall see. Headlights are never fun, especially in the 90 to 93 cars with airbag sensors and shit in the way. All I can say is take your time and use a wrench, use a ratchet, and hopefully you don't get any studs that start spinning outside of your light. If you do, you get the vice grips or whatever it might be. But hopefully it's pretty straightforward. It's a low mileage car. So there is one side, and it's definitely brightened the front up, if you will. I'm tossed, you know, like I really like the look of the yellow bulbs. I don't know if the camera can, you know, kind of show how there's lots of yellow reflecting off everything in here right now, but I don't know, maybe I'll have to get it outside and take a closer look. I'm gonna have to aim the headlight housing a little bit better as well. I do like, right, our no amber in the corners, because I feel like amber on yellow is kind of a clash, right? But I don't know, it's kind of, do I want the Euro look or do I want the stock look? And I go with like the old style clear corners, which I've got sitting out on Jerry's Coyote swap out there. You can see the clear corner poking out over there. All right, so as I've taken a couple minutes to like assess this situation right here, the reality that I've come to is that I don't like these corners. Like, they're cool for the fact there's no amber there. However, there's something about the housing on the outer side which lightens things up and just kind of makes the lens look cheap, number one. Number two, I feel like because the car's yellow and with this diamond clearness on the yellow, it almost makes this look like I have like a one-piece headlight in here, and it's just like too bright. If they were smoked, maybe okay, but I'm not going for a smoked and yellow look. So what I did was I grabbed some turtle wax scratch remover, and I'll show you. Look at how nice this lens turned out. Oh, here it is right here. Scratch, repair, and renew. So normally you use this on your paint, but it's really just a glorified buffing compound. And I just hit that up real quick. Nothing too crazy, and look at the difference. So I'm thinking we might have to go stock, and these are actually Ford lenses, which is really nice to have. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to clean these up and go with the clear corners. What do you guys think? So maybe, you know, to make things easy, just to compare and contrast, I'm going to buff these lenses up. I can buff them right on the car, and then that way I only need to swap out the corner. So let's see how that goes. We got the old school frosted clear corner versus the newer style, but yet still old style, diamond clear corner. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me turn the lights on. Oh, I didn't plug the actual headlight in. Jeez. I'm digging the yellow headlights. Like, I think those just look super, super cool. And to be honest, guys, I'm really leaning towards going that route. There's just something, I don't know, maybe more nostalgic. Maybe I need to look at it more. I don't know. What do you guys think? Tell me down in the comments. All right, another night here, and I gave it the overnight so that I could, number one, look at the poll on both YouTube and Instagram to see who likes which headlight setup better. And in fact, YouTube, I want to say a lot of people are going towards the OEM clear corner frosted look. And let me pull up my Instagram here because there was actually quite a bit of action. And I was really impressed on how many people not only saw the story, but, guess I'm gonna have to go into the archives here because it's been over 24 hours. What a pain in the butt. So let's go to our archive and pull this up. Top or bottom, I can't even make this up. 50-50. Like 316 votes for diamond clears, 310 votes for the frosted look. So diamond clears actually won. For the reasons that I mentioned yesterday, I don't like this corner right here, the way that it's looking. And although it doesn't have the amber, it's looking a little too, like people are gonna think that's a one-piece headlight from the side. And the downfall is that it looks so sick when it's lit up and all the lights are on, especially when I had the lights off. I posted a picture on Instagram. It looked really, really good. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to stick these yellow guys in. I want to see what it looks like just for fun. I had done those a while back. That's yellow base coat paint with some clear coat mixed together and cleared the lenses up. So let's pop them in this side and take a quick look on how it looks. Other than that, you can see, before I do that, I just wanted to showcase Menace 2.0 here. So I've actually been going over and giving all the trim some treatment. I was going to paint it all, but instead I'm actually conditioning it and using this rubber plastic dressing from Street Juice. So tire exterior trim, or tire and exterior trim dressing. And so far, so good. Like, I don't know if we could really see, like this looks pretty gray. All right, like this even almost looks like it has some red in it. So I haven't done any of this side yet. And this side over here, you can see the mirror is nice and black and all the trim soaking it in. I'm gonna do a couple coats of it, obviously, but I think that's actually gonna bring all the trim back to life. So I'll report back on that in a bit. I've actually got, what else I got here? Got some gifts from Fiddle Fart. I've already got the wiper arm caps on here, which I love these things. They actually look really good in the billet. So the caps are on, and I've got some antenna deletes. So that'll be sure to be going on. But let's get these headlights swapped. Okay, I actually think, now, mind you, I don't like that design of headlight. I don't like this guy down here, and I don't like the amber reflector where it is. But, guys, I think I really like the yellow on yellow. Like, it's a lot of yellow, but I feel like that knocks it down from that. And what I was trying to achieve with the yellow bulbs in the housing, this is kind of doing it. I'm gonna have to think about that one overnight now. Well, it's the next day of the next day of the next day of the next day, and I need to get ready for the weekly podcast with the one and only Gary from Castle Customs. And I went and got myself some cheapy yellow vinyl tint wrap stuff. Like, guys, this was literally like $6, Amazon overnight special delivery. And it's actually the same film that I've got on the fog lights and the Stalker Vert here. And it's actually held up really good. So no complaints there. However, I just wanted to, I didn't spend very much time. So the vinyling is horrendous, but I just wanted to get an idea because this film is a little bit more yellow than what these lights here were tinted out with clear coat. So I was just trying to get an idea if that's too bright. It actually kind of matches the look of the car, and it could actually be a little bit too much in all reality. I kind of like the subtleness of this over here. And the more that I look at this, the more that I really like it. If it was that yellow tinted on these lights, right, instead of like the double round headlight thing and then the amber circular reflector, I think I would be good with that. To be honest, I think I'm just going to go with the diamond clears with the amber corner. And the reason for that is that these are disposable. The OEM headlights are not. And I will keep the OEM headlights on the shelf for whenever I want to swap them out. The reality is I have options. So I'm going to, I'll make a final call. Like I said, the car's going to go in for detailing, so I'm not going to bother putting the antenna delete plate on. In fact, I'll probably pull the wiper cowl off and a few little trim pieces to make their lives easier. And then that way they can get don't have to worry about masking as much stuff off and can get right into some of the areas. So in fact, I might even leave the headlights loosely in there and then just have them out, so that way everything can really be detailed really nice and bring this thing back to looking like new again. So there you go, guys. I don't know how exciting this was, because I feel like there was just a lot of headlight swapping and me pondering and thinking and days going by, but that's what I've come up with. So until next time, we'll see you back here on the Infamous Project.